Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Well, gotta bring you guys out of the sun or bring you in the sun, maybe. There we go. I didn't know where to put you guys. with, with the way the sun is coming in. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Candace. Whoa. Good morning, Tina. Thank you for joining me and being on the coffee corner this morning. So, thank you, everybody, for coming in. So I'm just waiting for people to saunter on through this morning. Special prayers are going out for some people this morning. So I'm going to get some more people in here because we're going to send some prayers out because there's a couple people in the community that are really needing prayers, and I'm want to send them out. And that's one of the things I do. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, is that if you need prayers, I do have a prayer chain. I do have things set up for sending people prayers. I'm making butternut carrot soup while listening to me. Oh, okay. So everybody, we're going over to Candace's house for lunch for soup. And we'll see if she's making some homemade bread maybe to go along with that. Some hearty bread. Mmm. Sounds so yummy. Hello, Susie and Lori and Ashley and and Brenda. Thank you so much. And Dina's at work. Shh, Tina's at work, so you don't want anybody to know that she's listening. So we'll keep it down. I know I keep freezing on Facebook, but that's, sometimes life. Hello, Anna. Good morning, my love. So special prayers go out to a few people. That one is, a friend of mine, and she found a cyst on her breast, and it's growing within a 24 hours. So she had to go in and get some heavy duty antibiotics. So sending prayers out to her. And another one within our community has kidney stones, and they won't be able to operate on her right away. And the kidney stones, she's had to be in hospital overnight, and plus she's diabetic, so having to get everything going with her diabetes and everything else. Because when you're sick and you have another ailment, like diabetes, this can bring, where you're not eating right, you're not doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And you retain, when your kidneys, you retain a lot of that poison in your body also. So sending her out a lot of love and peace and helping her to get through the transition. So, and anybody else who needs prayers at this time, we're going to send you out the prayers and healing that you need. Because, a lot of times what we do is, complications, exactly, that we are wonderful at trying to handle everything on our own. But this is one of the reasons why I love my community, is that if you do need a helping hand, I've had people in our community who fell, and then all of a sudden she can't cook, she needs a cleaner, she needs this. So, putting it out there, and this is the whole thing, is that if you need help, you got to put it out there. People don't know that you need that help unless you put it out there. So putting it out there and sending out love where love needs to be sent. Sometimes you can't maybe help them financially. You might not be able to help them, physically, but you can help them by sending them positive energy their way. Okay. So check out Medical Medium book. Medical Medium. Yeah. There's a lot to do with it, because you're looking at, the thing is that there's a lot of clearing done in the lower chakras and the heart chakra. So, and it comes out in many ways. Shenanigans of the planets. So, so moving forward, to bring in help and support for the soul tribe. Blessings, Ashley, definitely. A few announcements before I get into the shenanigans. One, we have what do we have? We have the haunted tour happening this Saturday. So if you're wanting to do the haunted tour, definitely get a hold of me. I have room on it, and I'm going to be calling to make reservations at Una. So it's $40. Everybody will get a reading, but that doesn't include your pizza and wine. That's on you. and gratuities. That's on you. So if you're wanting to join me, we're going in the Beltline of Calgary, where there is the Low Heat House. We're going to try and get to the Low Heat House and do a walk around the Western High School. And there's another school behind Western. If nobody ever realized that, it's one of the original schoolhouses in Calgary. So we want to do a little walk around. And it's interesting, the Mount Royal area and that area. Oh, it's crazy. It's a different type of haunting, if that makes any sense. So if you guys, when we go to the different places, there's a different type of haunting, a different type of feeling every time. And this is what the haunted tours are all about. They're all about tapping into your intuition, getting things going. So if you want to bring your pendulums, and we can walk around with pendulums, don't worry about it. People will think you're weird, but it doesn't matter because we don't know them. And even if we did, they can come join us. So, so come on in and come join me for that walkabout at in the Beltline. So I just see you jumping and running on these walks. Oh, Candice, you would love it. It's actually wonderful because one of the things I do love about the walks, it does get you tapping into your intuition. Trusting it. Ooh, I always felt spooky around here. But I passed it off. So this is really getting you to encourage you to say, ooh, okay, this does feel odd. So, so there's that. We also have the June 22nd. Hey guys, can you bring sage? Yes, you can bring sage as we walk along. You just can't bring sage into buildings if we go into buildings, just saying. June 22nd, if you are wanting to come on to my one-day retreat, this is a day of looking at your livelihood, looking at different aspects of your life and the shadowing of it, and getting you to think in sort of an abstract kind of way, because that's really how the energies are going. So this is a great segue, and I'm going to turn my little light on because I didn't need it before, but clouds are coming in. There we go. Put some light on the subject. The energies are coming in. This is all, Mercury's flying through. Mercury's moving like 2 degrees. So if you think about it, but that's quite a bit for Mercury. Mercury's a planet that really moves. It's really going through Gemini, and it's really getting us to understand what the hell. It is this communication time, and going on with Mercury, what has been going on, the last 6 months with Mercury has been hell. I mean, Mercury had to go through a lot of energies, or a lot of different planets and signs, I should say, that it didn't like, and we were figuring that all out along the way. We were trying to figure out our pathway, what's going on with us. And this is bringing in a little bit of a lighter energy for us, and bringing in that sort of that lightness for us. That's why I haven't committed. And this is bringing in this choices that are going to be coming in. And with the Pluto-Saturn South Node Moon, this is major choices. This is major conversations. And this has been where we've had a lot of earth and water, earth and water, earth and water. So this muddiness has come in, and we had this fire that came in. And the fire that came in really didn't dry things out. So Aries really didn't dry out. We needed the air. The air comes in. So if you notice, when the air or the wind starts blowing, things start to air out. And I'm just going to say to Ashley and Chantel, I'm going to challenge you guys to come out, both of you, to come out to the haunted walk. And this air is drying it out, and it's causing some emotional weirdness, because Mars is in Cancer. It's trying to figure things out. It's trying to figure out all of these emotions, trying to figure out what's going on. And with with this Mars energy, and Mars is that roaring in Cancer, very motherly. Cancer's mother, Capricorn's father. So motherly energy coming in. And as this is coming in with the North nodes, right? So this is with the North nodes. And this North nodes, or they call it Rahu, and I learned that today. There's bringing this where Mars doesn't really like to be in Cancer because it's a fall position. But it's bringing in this sextile to Uranus. And we can go to a new place, much more comfortable and better for what we want to feel. And with this Mars, and then Mars is squaring Chiron, Chiron in Aries. So we have this energy of let's move forward. Information's coming in fast. So we're getting that this information. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? So if anybody knows Geminis, they talk sometimes kind of fast. And they want to get the answers. They want to do things, and let's get going. Boom, 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 right? This is why Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. It's this movement, but a little bit lighter. It's not heavy. Yes, Mercury was in Aquarius for about 2 weeks in February, I think it was. And sorry, Aquariuses, love you, but you guys can make things a little bit complicated in getting the communications up. Unlike Geminis, are just like, blah. That's what they do. I just go blah, 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 blah. So this energy is coming out, this identifying. And with this Mars, it's coming into that we're being confronted with a lot of emotions right now. A lot of emotions are coming up to the surface. And Mars, Cancer, emotional, it's to identify. This is to identify. This Mars is, unfortunately, if you're caught up about some form of identifying of the emotional, of something, and does not go the way you want it emotionally, you're going to find it hard. And if you're attached to something emotionally and want it to be, or keep on bringing up the past on the way it used to be, and it's trying to change into something new, you're going to find that you're in a real fucked up area, because your emotions are going to be, all over the place. And then if you're finding that people are trying to help you and create and trying to get you out, those who are trying to help you are going to start feeling, we can't do this. We got to back away. And then you got to start looking at self. What is this going to make? How is this going to make me feel? Because the sun has Venus on one side with Uranus, and then she's over there with Jupiter on the other side and Mars on the other side, and looking at and doing this weighing out. And the sun, here he comes in, and he's wanting to exalt, and he's wanting to show how things can be a little bit better. But we have this confusion that's going on. And with this confusion, and especially with Chiron, this Chiron energy is coming in, and it's not showing up the way you want. It's like waking up on Christmas morning. And this is, you wake up on Christmas morning and you're just expecting something, and I've been good, and I put it out there, and I let everybody know this is what I want for Christmas, and I didn't get it. You got something totally, completely opposite that you never even thought you would even, like, you didn't even want. It's like you wake up and someone gave you a brown blanket, crocheted, that they found in Sally Ann. And you're like, oh, this is nice. That's not what I exactly wanted. I was expecting something totally opposite. But this is where this energy is coming in, and Uranus aspects is this new thing is better. It's telling you to say you don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept it. You can move forward. But moving forward, here comes these emotions of like, ooh, my reply. This emotions are coming up, and you're saying, I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right. This isn't where I need to be. And in order to keep you feeling better, that's not my responsibility on keeping you better. It's to get your hand off of the throttle and let yourself to go full throttle. Because it's that full steam ahead. It's like when you're skidding, you can't just try and fight the skid. You got to steer into it in order to get the control. You got to allow. So you might be going like a bat out of hell into that skid, but if you try and counteract the skid and slam on the brakes, you can't get the control. And a lot of us are trying to Oh, I don't want this. Ah, and freaking out. But the thing is that when you get the control and you go around the corner, you're going to feel like you are more, it's something like, wow, I do have control. I do have that. And that's where this energy is coming in. And this Uranus aspect that's coming forward is, this is something new. This is something better. Now, Uranus has been making this semi-square over to Neptune in wanting to fix everything. I want to fix it. I can make it better. Let me just shine it up a little bit better. Maybe we can help you a little bit more. And we keep on trying to help or fix or do whatever it is that we're trying to do, and it doesn't work. It's not bringing that forward. So the whole it's like this whole other idea, this whole other way that is better for us. Actually, there's more tools to support us than we realize. And with this Mars-Uranus big turn and Chiron, I don't know if this turning is going to be good with these choices. And that's what's going through our mind. And with all of the sun, bringing in, and the heaviness of Saturn and Pluto and the moon there, because we got this energy that's coming in with, Mercury and the sun and the heaviness. And then, of course, we have Mars in Cancer and the North Node. And then it's opposing over there to Saturn and Pluto and the moon in the South Node. And it's saying, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to take ourselves into this better emotional area. It's the mother coming in. It's the energy of the mother coming in and saying, we're going to do this and we're going to fix this. It's the mother coming down the street and you see when mom is showing up, something's going to happen. Like if you're in a playground you're not supposed to be in and mom shows up and she wants to know what's happening. And you're saying, well, I'm sorry, mom. There's these big bullies, Saturn and Pluto in the North Node, and the moon was here. And I feel like I was forced to do this. And mom shows up, and mom's just this little, Candace would be running. And mom shows up and says, you know what? You come here because I'm going to protect you. We're going to beat this. We're not going to allow this to be your bullies anymore. We're going to confront it and we're going to go forward from this. So the mother is coming in to nurture, to give you that support, to say, you know what? If it doesn't feel right, dear, don't be doing it. If there's something that feels off or wrong, it doesn't matter. Trust it, what you are feeling. And it might look like, oh, but you know what? I really don't like this new opportunity. It kind of scares me. And, oh, I'm afraid what other people are going to think about me. And it's just, I would rather, I froze there. Okay. I'd rather do something more. And this energy is coming in. And the reason why, because the moon is in detriment, it doesn't like to be in Capricorn. And I found out a fun fact today that Benjamin Franklin changed the day of signing the Declaration of Independence from July 2nd to July 4th. And it had to do with the moon going into Aquarius. He wasn't going to sign it when it was in that detriment because of the hostility. He thought, and this is where Benjamin Franklin thought, I mean, he was an inventor, but he watched the stars and how things were. He watched the full moon and the new moon. So he saw that if I do it this way, we're going to make a declaration that is going to be bringing in a lot of fighting, a lot of, animosity. And he wanted to bring it in with the moon in Aquarius because he knew that was a new age. It was going to bring in new communities. It was going to allow for newness to happen. And that's where we're at. This is bringing in this newness. And Chiron in Aries is kind of bringing in this weird kind of feeling. Chiron in Aries is Chiron, the 70s. So thinking about this energy that's coming in, that's kind of funky. Now, if you look at anything from the 70s, there was pink polka dots on brown and brown polka dots on pink, and people's, afros, we're in, you had the fag boots, you had, I'm going to go walking down like this and trying to look cool. You had the disco coming out, funky town. So we had weird cars. This is coming in that it's like, ooh, this is kind of looking kind of funky. Doesn't feel that right, right? Um, this is coming in and coming, with this energy of saying, it doesn't look right. Demand it, persuade it. Integrity is the fine line of humanity. This is the energy that's coming in. What is your fine line of your humanity? Our belief systems, our deep ethical morals, our feeling of positive, losing our soul to humanity. What is that like? What is that meaning? Are you losing part of you to something? Is there a part of you that you're diving down this deep hole and you're saying, well, I'm just thinking maybe when I get to the end of this hole, this rabbit hole, I'm in Alice in Wonderland, I'm going to fix that rabbit. I'm going to fix the Queen of Hearts. Off with their heads. Are you? Are you going to allow yourself to step into a place where morally, because the thing is that there's certain morality within our world that we know, and within magic, and we call it the hermetic magic. That's the highest end of magic. When we get into the hermetic laws get into the spiritual laws. That there is that when you do this is the reaction. There's always an opposite. When you're getting into this is coming into saying, this does not morally feel right for me. So it's like when you go into work and it doesn't feel morally right. If there's something there that doesn't feel morally right, I can't do this anymore. There's something that is off. I got to start looking for another job. I really got to start reaching out in a new way. If there's something like even with your bank account, if it doesn't feel right for you, if there's something like, what can you do to create more of that abundance for yourself? Friendships, relationships of all sorts, if it doesn't feel right. And I, as I'm looking through a lot of this energy that's going on, and I was just like, holy shit, I can identify a lot with that reading I did yesterday on Scorpio. I only remembered mine. I don't remember anybody else's. But that it's that energy that's coming in, that Mercury Gemini is truth. When Mercury's in Gemini, and the reason why it's there, it is the truth, not afraid to say, nor right, nor wrong, no dark, no light. It is neutral. Mercury is neutral, right? It's Hermes. He travels into both worlds. He sees both worlds. He does not judge. So he's seeing both sides, it's communication. And I'm required, am I required to do this a certain way against my feelings and be honest, to be truthful? When people say, oh, it's all business, I hate that saying. I really do. It's like, business is business. Really? Because when we start saying business is business, that is an excuse for us not to face the facts and the responsibility of what we are supposed to be facing. Because when it comes to our laws, when it comes to business is business, it is an illusion that we have put aside or put in front of ourselves, because the laws change it all the time. A law is only what it is for that time, because laws change. Human laws change. Hermetic laws do not. Spiritual laws do not. Spiritual laws have gravity in it. Sorry, you drop an apple, you drop an apple, right? It falls to the ground. It's gravity. So there's this energy that's coming in that says, all right, how does this make you feel? The number one way, what is being truthful to you and honest? This is your feelings right in your life, your job, your relationship, everything. And it's sort of weird feeling because we have this Venus Jupiter squaring weird parts. It's this, it's feeling odd. It's like, do I really, I'm afraid to go forward. I'm afraid to try this differently, because if I do, what does that mean for me? For me, I've noticed there's certain things that I'm going to be having to do. And yeah, there's the Guru Mama name, but it's not like I'm $1 million product or anything else. But there's a community there of where I'm stepping to the next level. What does that mean for me? What does that mean for my growth, my integrity? Do I stay with something that doesn't have integrity to save face with a part of a community? Or do I move away from that and step into a different light? And in doing so, this is where, for me, and this is what I'm, when I'm looking at things, this is for me, this is the three of swords coming into my heart and saying, whoa, I had some dedication there. I had love for those people, but it ain't turning out the way I wanted it to. There's a lot of deceit, untruth. Things are not the way that, when you've come in and you're trying to help someone. And this is where we're finding this on the world front too. We're finding this around others too, the world front, where, there's this energy that's coming in and wanting to make change and bring in community and wanting to, it's that motherly thing. We want to make things work. And we want to try the best for our children. But the energies are coming in, and even as a mother, there's a point when you come in and you got to say, you got to figure it out on your own. I can't do it for you anymore. I can't hold this for you anymore. I need to let go of the brakes and do my full throttle to where I need to go. And this is where these emotional feelings are coming in. Oh, James, why are you always so right? I'm a mom. Mothers are always right. So this Mercury sextiling Chiron, semi-squaring Uranus might not look the way you want it to, but this is the light and the communication. This is bringing in, it might not look the way that you want it to look. It might not be the way that you want it to be. And you had different ideals and you want it to be something else. And that's even with what I do. Like, my business always is changing and evolving, but I got to change and evolve with it. When somebody brought to me about doing the haunted tours on my own, it was like, I was afraid of stepping on somebody's toes. I didn't want to do that. Maybe I'm going to offend somebody. Ooh, I can't do that. But what I'm finding is that going out on my own is bringing in something new and something different. Nothing like anyone else. And it might have offended or hurt that person, or they didn't like that I'm doing what I'm doing. But I'm doing it in my light. I'm doing it with my truth. And that's where it comes in. Because even when you're doing readings or going to certain things, you're going to find that, I don't want to do it that way. One of the biggest things when I teach is, when I teach you something, try it my way. Just try it. I don't say do it fully 100%. Try it my way and go from there. Add in what you need to add in. If that didn't work for you, fine. But right now, if I'm teaching you a certain way, try it. Then spice it up the way you want it. Don't stick to how I'm teaching it. Try it your own way. That's the way you learn. That's with all the other teachers that I've had, who said, try it this way. And sometimes I'm just like, I'm very resistant. I don't want to do it that way. I've always done it this way. No, try it this way. Just try it. Oh, okay. Try your soup this way. You've never tried it this way? Try it. Sprinkle a little crackers on it or parsley or whatever on top of your soup and try it. Maybe not. Maybe you didn't like it. You tried it. It's okay, but it's not something I'm going to do all the time. Or, oh my God, that was just brilliant. I'm going to do this all the time now. This is bringing in something new that you haven't, that that you have to try, that you have to go do. And as you do it, that's where the paradise is. Because you're starting to believe. And that where it comes in, if you don't like something within your community or the way that things are going, then maybe you need to step up and take action. If you don't like your MP or the way things are going with your MP or your whoever is your member of parliament or Congress or whoever it is, then maybe you need to step up and write a letter. You don't think it makes a difference. It does. This is where this truth is coming in. What do you want to start changing? And with this Mars in Cancer, it's finding yourself, and Taurus, new things. This is a weird kind of energy that's coming in to fix things and need to figure things out. And the energy, and the reason why, one of the other reasons I'm having the retreat on June 22nd is that this energy is leading up to June 22nd, leading up to this energy. This is leading up to this summer solstice and heading us into some crazy fucked up energies for the last half of the year, right? And with the eclipses that are going to be happening and awakenings that are going to be happening. If you think this craziness that we've had the last 6 months has been kind of crazy, oh, this is just getting us moving. So that when we can go and we can look at things in a new way, and when we look at things in a new way, when it really gets crazy, we're like, hey, you know what? This is nothing. I'm walking through this. I'm doing that fire walk because you know what? I know what's on the other side. I don't feel this burn. If you see that Tony Robbins, when people say, look at me, look at me, look at me, and you're looking, and they're like, okay, they're ready to go. And you're just like over the firewalk. And you're like, wow, okay. It's amazing. But all of this accumulation of all this energy that's coming forward is getting us to be on the other side and saying, you know what, this is what I need to do. So Ashley's like, no more crazy. But this is a battle. This is when Cancer eclipses cycle starts coming in. And the Cancer eclipse cycle, this is mother and father. Father's taking you down. What do you need to look at? Mother's wanting to say, let's exalt you. Let's bring you up. Make you look good. And sometimes you don't like it when mother gets involved. You don't want it when mom gets involved. I feel, the image I just got is like when you see a little kid and the mom takes her thumb and goes, and then rubs your cheek. You got a little thing on there and you're like, don't do that. But that's what it's coming into doing. You got to get the dirt off your face. Let's get you looking good. And, with this energy that's coming in, and it's not to get caught up in ideas on how it should look. Emotions actually, disrupt our determination and our willpower and our ability to move into a much more comfortable life because we have an idea of how it should look. We want it to look a certain way. Hence, Uranus is in Taurus, and it's going to say, really? Oh, you think that looks good? Let me show you something a little different. Because it's moving what needs to get moved. Moving that of where you have felt too comfortable for too long. And saying, okay, let's shake you up a little bit. And this is where it's saying, okay, you don't like the way your bank account looks? Well, how do you want it to look? You don't like the way your job is? Well, what are you going to do about it? You don't like the way this relationship is going? And you're going to stick with it? That's your choice. And it's not saying that your angels or your God or your goddesses are going to abandon you. They're going to be there. They're going to help you. But they also want to show you something that's a little bit better and easier for you. But if you don't want to do it, the choice is always yours. Geminis, the things now with the first time This is energies coming in for us, is this mental clarity. It's this air that's coming in to give us the mental clarity so that we can see things a lot better. When Mercury was retrograde in Pisces, it was crazy energy because Mercury was like watery, couldn't get thought through. Now it's clarity. So this is emotional identification, not the way that in this emotional identification is the way to paradise and facing the fear. And there's always going to be some kind of fear. There's always going to be something that we need to grow from and excel from. But when we have a growth of a spiritual muscle, okay, and we grow that, thank you, we grow this spiritual muscle, then when things happen and things are crazy and we're not getting that clarity, we're not seeing things the way that we want to see it, then we can actually take the step back because we're saying, I got a spiritual muscle and I got to practice. I'm not going to do, I'm doing this. This is the way I do it. This is the way I know that is right for me. Might not be right for you, but it's right for me and I got to do it. This is my spiritual muscle. It's like Tony Robbins wakes up every day and he goes into 53 to 57 degree water. Full body immersion, in, out. He does that to open up his lymph nodes. You can do that with a cold shower. A lot of us are like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's just going to make me uncomfortable. Yeah, it's going to make you uncomfortable. But it's exhilarating when you do that. It's exhilarating on opening you up in order to see something new. And if you go to an ashram, they get you to go into the river early in the morning, wake you up, get you going, whether you like it or not. They get you in an ashram too to say, here, you got to scrub the floor here, but here, we're giving you a little brush. So that each time when you are scrubbing, you're getting into that moment. You may not like it, but you're appreciating what is happening now. And that's it. It's starting to appreciate what is happening now, working with the moment, working with the energies that you're having, trusting those feelings to move forward. Trusting yourself and your divine and saying, and if it feels odd, if it doesn't feel right, and you're getting a bad vibe, you're going to find that there's going to be some chaos that's going to go along with it. And within that chaos that goes along with it, you're going to be like, well, that's not exactly what I really wanted. So trust yourself in this energy that's going forward, especially this week, as we're going, and this is an inward journey. This is a journey of going inward. We're in the waning moons, right? So allowing that, because as we're coming to that new moon in Gemini, it's going to get us to go out and towards the Sagittarius and into the Cancer energy. So if you are wanting to come and be a part of the day retreat, it's $175. Bring a friend. This day is going to be a day of letting go of what you believed your reputation was and stepping into your notorious self and allowing for yourself to shine. So that's on June 22nd. It's on a Saturday. And we're going to be out in a park. We're going to be outside. So it's going to be, and I know I've already put it out there to the universe, the weather is going to be totally fabulous. So this is bringing in this beautiful energy that's going to allow us to be able to nurture one another, to be in nature with one another, and for us to be able to embrace this beautiful energy. And I'm looking at Fish Creek Park right now in different areas in Fish Creek Park for us to come in and do a little celebration and be able to go and walk along the creek in order for us to sit in nature, for us to be apart. And so Fish Creek Park is probably going to be the location for the retreat on June 22nd. So if it's piss-ass rain, I know the goddess will provide another. But right now, they told me to trust that it's going to be outdoors. You're going to get fed. We're going to have food for you guys throughout the day. We got coffee coming. We're going to have tea. This is going to be, it's going to be a pretty cool ass day. Just saying. So come join me for this day, because it is going to be a day of celebration and a day for us to come in. And it is going to be in Fish Creek Park. So just an FYI for those. So that means you're going to have to wear your wallabies. If you don't know what the wallabies are, contact Candace. She'll tell you what they are. If she doesn't know what they are, you can contact me. And maybe you have to put on an extra sweater. I'm sorry, we live in Alberta, you know. And because we're going to be doing a lot of things in nature and connecting. And so it's going to be a day of bringing in, you know, that connection with nature. And I will open it up. If there's a guy who wants to come, I will open it up to the men, because I feel like their feminine power is stepping in, and they might need a place where they can be feeling that connection and being able to express themselves, because sometimes guys can't express themselves with other guys. Just saying. Or say, you know, I had an intuition about that, and they feel off. So opening it up, because it is, we're wanting to build a community. Sending you guys out so much love and light and blessings to you all. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. If you're wanting your tarot horoscope, get a hold of me. Reading, you know what I do. Blessings, everybody. Bye-bye. What does it want me to still talk? It's not letting me go. Oh, wow. I'm still here.